This workshop is really Dan's brainchild, and I'm just super excited to be a part of it. I learn something every time I teach it, and I hope that you guys do too. So Dan, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and then we're gonna get started.
All right. So, you know, I've really enjoyed doing these workshops. First of all, my name is Dan Tumarkin with Keller Williams in Tampa Bay, and Melissa was teaching this class at Chaz Bradley's New Market Center about 2 weeks ago, and I asked her, "Hey, what do you think about like us doing a workshop? Because this is such a big class. It's such an awesome class, and I know it sounds like most of the participants in this session haven't done this class before, and this is an absolutely amazing KWU class. And just like a lot of classes, there's a lot of really good information, but until we implement what we learn, it doesn't really do us any good. So what I thought we could do is just kind of do a little variation of what we had done before with the business planning clinic and actually have a workshop, something that you can implement and put into practice immediately, and break this down into manageable pieces. And really, this kind of reminded me of this morning's conversation with Early Birds, where we were talking about the promise and the promise script, which is a fantastic model for making sure you're delivering an excellent customer experience, because a promise script is, hey, my job or my goal is to make sure you have an absolutely amazing experience. And if we do that, there's two things I'm going to ask for you. I want to, between now and the time we close, that you're going to refer someone to me. And the second thing I'm going to ask is that, if we give you an excellent experience, that you'll let us know through feedback, through an online review. And that helps hold us accountable. And the thought that crossed my mind this morning as we were talking about was, we don't want to have empty promises. We always start with this intention of, providing a great experience. And we need to have, we need to be able to find what that experience looks like. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about, and talk about systems to make that all happen. And that's what we're going to create through this workshop over a period of time, is develop the systems to make this happen. If that sounds like something that you would want out of this, please put a Y or a yes in the chat, so that we can see what, if this is what you want out of it, and if this would be worthwhile for you.
All right, so lots of yeses, yay.
Right, fantastic. So Melissa is training to be a official certified KWU instructor. She's an amazing instructor. And Melissa, I'm really excited to hear about this. And I just want to ask if you would please kind of give everyone a quick overview again of, if they didn't see the video, what to expect and just kind of what we're looking to do.
So what our plan is, whether you've taken the customer experience class or not, or you took it a long time ago, it is a lot of activity packed. And so what our plan is to start from the beginning and to kind of work our way through the buyer and seller. We're going to focus mostly on the seller, but we'll roll in the buyer as well. But the life cycle for your client, and how do you set expectations with your client? How do you serve your client, right? How do we do what we say that we're going to do? How do we survey them, right? Are we surveying them to find out how we're doing throughout the process? And then it's going to be, how do we surpass their expectations? And then how do we sustain it? And I saw someone type in the chat, right? I want to be the realtor for life for my clients. And I don't know about you guys, but I do too, right? I don't want my clients and their friends and family to go anyplace else. And I don't think you do either. So our goal is to take the whole life cycle of the seller and really go and put those systems and standards in place for your business, so that you can do that consistently over time, and your business is going to grow. Where you do these systems, you're going to have loyalty from your clients, your business is going to grow, and your profit is going to grow. Does that sound good?
That sounds like a great goal. And
yes.
Melissa, can you describe, how we're looking to chunk things down and make this all possible and doable?
So we're going to have a topic every week, and then you're going to leave with some homework. I don't know if that's a good word to use, but some things to do. And I think what my hope and what Dan's hope is that as a group, because what happens, when we go into a class, Dan's doing one thing and Marty's doing one thing and Deborah's doing something else and I'm doing something else. And then we go, oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. and then we don't do it because we get busy and our businesses get there. So Dan's actually created a beautiful spreadsheet. And if you've been in his business planning, you know how awesome he is at doing that. And he's created a spreadsheet for us that we're going to do our value proposition through that. And we're also going to be able to set our systems and standards in place for our business through his worksheet so that we can make sure that we do it consistently. So that's the plan. And anything else, Dan, I should be saying?
Right now, how long do you think that we're going to be taking per session or per class? And how many sessions do you see? Like, what's the overall format? How long is this going to be? And what happens if people can't be here every time?
So no more than an hour. That's the goal. And we're going to do it weekly. Our goal is to probably do 10 weeks because there are actually 10 steps to the life cycle. And so we're going to do it over the course of 10 weeks. We have created a Facebook page, and I'm going to share my screen really quickly. And actually, I'll put it in the chat at some point today. I've created a private Facebook page for us. And we are, oh my goodness, Dan, I did not put us live on Facebook, so I better do that. So this class and future classes will be in our Facebook page, and you can add things to it. Oh wait, subject does not have permission to create live video. Okay, well, I have a Zoom video. I have a Zoom recording, so we will. I think we do. I do this all the time. You think I would know how to use Zoom, right? But I think we are recording. Okay. So I will upload that and I'll fix the Facebook thing. So we will have Facebook available to you. You can go in there, make sure you request to join so that you have access, because it is going to be a private group. And you'll be able to see the video, and all the material will be there as well. And you can share things on there as well.
So one of the things that I expect is going to be different between a class and the workshop is we're going to eventually be doing a lot less talking, and you're going to be doing a lot more participation during our sessions. One of the things I'm going to do is in the chat, I'm going to put in a link that I'm going to need you to download. We're going to need that a little bit later, because we're going to work on our value proposition. As Melissa goes through the material, it'll make sense why, and I'm going to have a model that's you're going to be able to use to create that value proposition now, and then refine it over the course of the next week.
Yeah, and
so,
Dan, we have an email list that we can just send the Facebook link out. That was a question.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get it out to you in an email. All right. Are we ready?
The floor is yours, Melissa. You want to go ahead and start with the...
Awesome. So because a lot of you responded that you have not ever taken the customer experience, I'm going to take probably 15 minutes or so and kind of talk to you about what's so important about creating an experience and what's the difference between customer service, right? Because everyone says, oh, I provide great customer service, and really creating a great experience. Does anyone want to take a stab at what the difference is? Customer service versus customer experience.
Go ahead and raise your hand and unmute.
Yeah. Janet.
Thank you for the opportunity. So customer service is average. Customer experience is above average and excellent.
Absolutely. All right. Is it Muriel? Is that how you say it?
Yes, it's Muriel. Yes, I agree. And it is just an average experience. What you're doing is you're satisfying and you're meeting the standards that are what everyone else does. You right. Deliver. But that other, to make them feel valued and to make them feel really special, that you go above and beyond, and that you do it consecutively, consistently, and you do it from the heart. And I think right. That's a customer experience.
I think you're right. All right. So Louise.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. So what Janet and Muriel said, absolutely. There's the standard, right? The basic, and then there's the above and beyond. And I think the more senses we can incorporate in the above and beyond, the better stories we can create.
That's right. And it's true, right? Because customer service is just efficient. It's common, right? We're solving problems reactively most of the time. Whereas when your experience, it's what you just said, right? It's the senses, right? How does the customer feel it? How does they see it? How do they hear it? And what do they remember you for? And most importantly, it's purposeful, right? There's thought that went into it. And there is some uniqueness about it because not every person gets exactly the same experience because we all are different, right? Jeannie, do you want to say something? And then we'll move on.
Oops, I did.
Where'd you go?
I don't know. I messed up. Sorry. Okay.
No, we can see you and hear you.
Oh, you can. Oh, sorry, I'm muttering. Okay. No, you kind of got to the point that I was thinking of is customer service is doing all the right things that we have to do to get from beginning to end and have a successful close. I think it's how a person feels at the end of their time working with us, where they know that it was truly special. So it goes to emotion. It goes to that loyalty factor that they knew that they were treated special, and it becomes an experience like a Disneyland or Disney World, like, you know, like the Ritz. It's tailored to them because we listen to them, and being heard is so important for people to know they've been heard and acknowledged and validated.
So here's my question. Do you think creating a great experience is a really big thing, or is it little things?
Little things.
I mean, both.
Little things.
Little things.
Little things.
Little things.
It's
both.
It's a combination of everything.
It is, but if you read the new gold standard that's about Ritz-Carlton's, right? Did the bellhop remember my name? And not only did he remember my name, but he remembered everyone's name in my family.
Mhm.
Not a big thing, but it is a big thing to the person, right? So if you can have those types of systems in your business, that's awesome. So so when you have a system, you have to have standards in your business too. So how about, right? I think everybody wants to create a great experience. My question is, do you create a great experience every single time? Do you have systems in your business that are duplicatable, no matter if it's you're doing it, someone else is doing it, that are going to provide that experience every time?
No.
Does it happen every time?
No.
No. Awesome. So, well, that's what we're going to do. So you need systems, right? So what emails get sent, what phone calls do you make, right? Who gets what, all those things. What about standards? And this is going to be a big thing throughout the process. What are your business standards? And do you know what the difference is between a standard and a system? You can raise your hand or you can just unmute.
I would say that the standard is like the overarching goal, and the system is how you get there to meet that goal.
For the most part, right? Anybody else? So system is how we get there, right? So I mean, so you're absolutely right, Janet, right? It's how do we get from point A to point B? Can your system vary? Louise, did you want to add something?
To produce consistent and predictable results.
Right. Right. What's a standard in your business? What would be an example of a standard in your business?
Like what you believe in and how you function, like more like what you do.
How you function. How do you answer your telephone? Yeah, go ahead, Susie.
Yeah, that's all. I was gonna say.
Yeah. So, your standard is, how do you answer your telephone? If you call any Keller Williams office, everyone answers the phone the same, right? What hours do you work? How quickly do you return an email? How do you confirm appointments? Do you tell your clients what's next every time, right? Your standards in your business are the non-negotiable items in your business. Things that when you hire a team, when you start hiring staff, that you're going to say to them, these are the things that we do not vary from. And so as we go through the process, we're going to be talking about, what are your standards? Your standards might be different than mine, might be different than Dan's, might be different than Joe's, right? They're going to be different, and that's okay. but we need to have standards in our business. And so we're going to work on that too. Obviously, a great experience requires that we go from E to P. As most everybody, I think, if you've been with Keller Williams for any amount of time, right, you know what E to P is. You know we're going from entrepreneurial to purposeful. I personally say it's easy to painful, because when you are breaking through that ceiling, sometimes it is painful, right? But to create a great experience we can duplicate requires purposeful, right? So we have to be purposeful. Let me show you really quick the steps that we're going to go over, and then we're going to talk about, if I can get back to here so I can actually share my screen. Gotta love Zoom. You know, I feel like we all do this, but yet when it comes time to be the one that's having to do it, you're like, oh goodness. All right, so can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So for every step that we're going to go through, for every step in the life cycle, and I'm going to show you that in a second, these are the things that we are going to tackle. How do we set expectations with our clients? How do we serve our clients? How do we survey? How do we surpass their expectations? And that's the fun piece. And then how do we sustain them long after, years after, not a year after, 5 years, 10 years, right? After the fact. So for every piece of the life cycle, these are the things that we all are going to be working on. So what's the life cycle? So here are the steps. So for the seller life cycle, we're going to talk about the needs analysis. So those 5 things, we're going to talk about what do we do when we do a needs analysis? Pricing strategy, property preparation, marketing strategy, receive an offer, negotiating to sell, pre-close preparation, excuse me, closing and post-closing. The buyer one is very similar, right? So there are definitely pieces that you'll be able to put together. So Dan also has found, a list of all of the activities that we do as real estate agents. And I think for sellers, Dan, it was like 171 steps.
That's about right. Yeah.
From the time that, go ahead.
Yeah, according to NAR, and you know, I think others on the call are familiar with the material that Ronnie DiCarlo had shared with everyone from the Pivot Shift call, that there are 236 steps that realtors take, and those steps correspond to you know, different parts or different steps or phases of the whole buying and selling process. Of those 236, it's about 178 or 187 that are seller related steps, and then some of those overlap with in our buyer related steps, and that's understanding the process is what allows us to create a system, because if we follow the same process over and over again, we can deliver, like Louise said, a very predictable experience for our clients, and find ways and places where we can surprise and surpass their expectations in a very predictable way, and communicate with them about where we are now and what's happening next very clearly. So that's what we're going to cover, and that's what we're going to deliver. I mean, that's pretty much what we're going to come out of this class or this workshop with.
Right. Okay. So are we ready to get started? Does anybody have any questions or thoughts, comments before we kind of dive into our first activity? All right, cool. So in order to create a great experience for our customers, we have to know who we are, and we have to know what we want to offer. So you can, if you wouldn't mind, in the chat, put a Y if you have a value proposition and an N if you don't. Do you have a value proposition? Do you know why people are going to want to work with you? If they said, I love Joe because, what value do you bring to the table? Majority of people don't. And, you know, it's interesting to me as I teach, because this comes up a lot, pretty much in every Keller Williams class that you take, how many agents, and they can be in business 20 years, 30 years, and they don't have a value proposition. But in order to build our systems and standards for our business, we need to know who we are, right? What are we going to do? If we say we're going to do it, we need to do it. And can we do it? So our first activity is going to be your value proposition. So I'm going to let Dan take over, and he's got a great little exercise. And yeah, Dan, go when you're ready
All
for
right,
the.
Yeah, so I'm really grateful for this, because this is going to be one of the most valuable things you can do for yourself, because as soon as you can define who you are and what you are for your clients, the sooner you can define and basically identify who your right partners and clients are, and really make a difference in their world. You can articulate things very clearly. So we're going to go through an exercise. And Melissa, do you have the video that we could?
I do. You're
okay,
right.
All right. So I'm going to come to that in a moment.
Okay.
We're going to do an exercise called a one-liner exercise. And many people have seen this before, that I've shared it with people earlier this year, but not everyone has seen it. And even if you have, I know that I've experienced that, even though I did it like 2 months ago or 3 months ago, if I don't internalize it, it doesn't become real, and I'm not using it as high a level as I can. So what we're going to do is just give you an overview of what this exercise is, and what'll come from this is that you're going to be able to, in a very simple way, following a very simple model, be able to come up with a one-liner to describe your business, which will effectively become your value proposition. And this is what the model is going to look like. You're going to take a moment to identify your clients or prospective clients' pain point. Take a moment to identify the value or the unique solution that you can bring to address that. And then you're going to come up with a summary of their storybook ending, like why this is in their best interest to use you and from their perspective. And the best way to illustrate this, I think, is going to be this video, Melissa, for people to kind of see it. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to share the spreadsheet here again in the chat, so that we can look at some real samples and actually go into the spreadsheet right now before we're done with the workshop, and actually start working on it for about 5 or 10 minutes. And you're going to be able to work and kind of bounce ideas off of one another in the Google Sheet. So
Yeah,
we're going to create that.
And keep in mind too that you can have a value proposition for your buyer and for your seller. They don't have to be the same. They certainly can be the same, but you can have one for buyer, one for seller.
Yeah.
So
and another way to look at this is to look at your lead source, because you're going to have maybe a one value proposition for an investor, and that's going to be different from the value proposition that you might have for a first-time home buyer. And that might be different for the value proposition for a FSBO or an expired. So depending upon your lead source, you might have an overall value proposition for your business, but then you're going to tweak it a little bit for each customer's unique needs.
Right.
And we'll talk about that.
Where do you want me to stop the video, Dan?
Right about 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, somewhere in that 10 or 15 minutes. There's going to be an obvious break to it where we can just wrap it up.
Okay. All right. Well,
I wonder, in the interest of time, can you accelerate the speed a little bit? You know how you have that option, the 1.25 or 1.5?
You know what? I don't know if I can, because it's actually built into a PowerPoint. When it gets started, I'll see. I'll see. I'll try. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
Now, we're going to switch gears to something else that you detail out in the book. And this is, again, going to be an exercise. And we want you on Facebook to engage as well. Now, Don's going to walk you through this. And then our audience is going to go through this as well. We're going to give you a little bit of thinking and writing time. And then, again, we're going to have some more of our live audience members go through this with Don. So, Don, we're going to take them through this idea of a one-liner.
Right.
What do you mean by that? And how can we all create a one-liner?
Well, a one-liner is one sentence that explains what you do or what you offer in such a way that you capture the most people's attention. And so it comes from the movie industry. A one-liner is what describes a film. So when you say Jason Bourne has forgotten who he really is, but he's, it makes me go, ooh, I'd like to see that, right? I'd like to see that movie because all the suspense is in that one line. Now, a one-liner, every screenwriter knows if you create a good one-liner for your screenplay, it's worth $50,000 to $500,000 if you could sell that screenplay. And then it goes into your phone 2 years later and you're looking for a movie and you read that one sentence, that could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You got to really nail it. What we tend to do is when somebody asks what we do, we say, you know, my grandfather started the company. Or worse, we say, well, it's kind of complicated. What do you say when you say it's complicated? You're saying you're going to have to do a lot of math in your head and it's probably not going to be worth your time, but here I go. Well, they're not going to stick with you, right? We want to say something that attracts them right away, that makes them interested in what we're offering. So I'm going to take you through an exercise. It's a 3-part sentence, or it could be multiple sentences, but it's a one-liner. It's something you can say really quickly. And somebody says, what do you do? I want you to say this, right? And it works like this. The first thing is we want to ask ourselves, most businesses struggle to talk about what they offer. We have a process that helps them clarify their message so companies get growing again. What we want to do in our one-liner, there's 3 parts. It's identify your customer's problem. This is the first part of your one-liner. You're going to open with the problem. When I walk on stage and give a speech, I don't say, my name is Donald Miller, and I've been living here in Nashville a long time, and I'm married to a wonderful woman named Betsy, and we have a chocolate lab named Lucy, and we have a dog named Jude Carter, and I'm very glad to be with you today. Why? It doesn't start a story. I walk to the center of the stage and I say, we have a serious problem, wasting money on marketing. And you have no idea who I am. And I don't care if you don't know who I am, because it's not about me, it's about you, right? I open up with your problem. That's what starts a story. A story is a character that has a problem. And the sooner you can get to the problem, the sooner you can get to the hook. And now they're interested. You see? And so, you know, if I'm selling a product, then I want to start with that problem because it makes the product valuable. I say, you know how you sometimes drop your phone in the toilet? Well, I invented the toilet net. Okay, that's not a good example, but I stole that from some comedian. Anyway, so you want to identify your problem. So what is your customer's problem? And you want to say, most people struggle with, or do you know how a lot of people feel about this? Or a lot of people are afraid to go to the dentist because they're afraid it's going to hurt really bad. So when you say, hey, what do you do for a living? You say, well, you know how a lot of people hate going to the dentist because they're afraid it's going to hurt really bad. We actually have all the modern technology. You don't feel a thing. Most people, because of the laughing gas we use, they actually love going to the dentist. They come even when they don't have a toothache, you know, right? So you want to identify your customer's problem. Second, you want to explain your plan to help them. Now, this is where you can mention your product, how your product differentiates in the market. But basically, you know, you want to explain, here's what we do that solves the problem. So it's the problem, and then what I do that solves the problem. And then finally, third, the successful ending to their story. Most people struggle with this, but we created this thing so they don't have to struggle anymore and they actually enjoy life and it looks like this for them. What is that? It's the summary of a story. But it's a summary of a story that you're inviting them into. So those are the 3 parts of your one-liner. Now here's our one-liner. Most businesses struggle to talk about what they offer. We have a process that helps them clarify their message so their company starts growing again. That's my one-liner. And I memorized this. And when the Uber driver says, what do you do? I say that. And inevitably, they're handing me their business card or they go to their website, they buy one of my products because I just opened a story loop in their brain that they want to close. I walk them down a path that they now want to walk themselves. And that's the essence of a one-liner. What's your customer's problem? A couple things. You want to be specific. Don't be vague. A lot of people don't enjoy their lives. Okay, well, I don't know, that's a little bit too vague. Also, make sure it's a pain point. They need to feel this problem. What you're looking for is for them to say, that's me. That's me. I have that, right? That's my problem. You're looking for them to identify themselves in the problem. Third, get it down to a soundbite. This is short. Again, you're gonna have to work on this a little bit, but it's worth the work, I promise. Make it super, super brief. Let's look at a pet store. Pet owners are concerned about what their pets are really eating. Well, it wasn't until you said that. So I just agitated a problem. Here's a financial advisor. Most people can't get their heads around their financial future. How many of you feel that way in your business? It's like, yeah, I actually can't get my head around my financial future. I don't know if I'm rich or poor. I think I'm rich, but I don't know. Yeah. Used car sales. Hey, you know how nobody likes to haggle with a used car salesman? Can you imagine if somebody said that to you and they're a used car salesman at a cocktail party? You'd be like, I'm buying my next car from this guy. He gets it. He understands my pain. All right, next is the plan, the part 2. You want to make it feel like a new idea. I've never heard that before. It's a differentiator. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you could go to a used car dealer without haggling. So it's a differentiator. Make it understandable. Make sure it's not so elusive they can't understand it, and make it brief. Let's look at the pet store. Pet owners are concerned about what their pets are really eating. Here's the second part. So we source our food from trusted local vendors, right? And so now you're going, I've never heard of a pet. At first, I don't know what my dog is eating. It's probably not healthy, but you're making sure it is, okay? Financial advisor. Most people can't get their heads around their financial future. So we created a financial map that puts all your info on a weekly dashboard. That's the differentiator. That's the resolution to my problem. Lastly, used cars. Nobody likes to haggle with a used car salesman, so we remove the salesman entirely. You can choose and test drive a car hassle-free. By the way, people are making billions of dollars with that exact business plan. They remove the resistance from the actual process. And third, you describe a happy ending to their story. Make it the controlling idea of your business. That means all your employees are trying to get people to this thing. You know, you would think that StoryBrand was in the business of clarifying your message. That's just our product. That's not what we're in the business of. We're in the business of increasing your revenue. We have a whole Slack channel that's just dedicated to, I doubled my sales. This person wrote in, they're seeing huge increases, blah, blah, blah. And that's the motivator for our entire company. We've got to get these people money. That's the controlling idea, is the resolution, the happy ending to their story is the business you're really in. Not the selling product. It's the happy ending that you're in the business in. Make it something they actually want, so they don't go, that sounds interesting, but I don't know if I want that. Right? So I wouldn't say, so you can have a ton of flowers at your event. That's not the controlling idea. So that everybody will think that you gave the best event of the year. That's the happy ending. Right? And the flowers are just the product that gets me the happy ending, but I'm actually the person who sells the happy ending. Okay, so let's look at them all together. Pet owners are concerned about what their pets are really eating, so we source our food from trusted local vendors, which ensures your pet stays happy and healthy. There it is. Three statements, one-liner. Most people can't get their heads around their financial future, so we created a financial map that puts all your info on a weekly dashboard, giving you peace of mind about your finances. That's the result. Used car sales. Nobody likes to haggle with the car salesman, so we remove the salesman entirely. You can choose and test drive a car hassle-free, so you have a peaceful experience getting the car that you want. That's what a one-liner is. Now, what do we do with our one-liners? We have to repeat the one-liner hundreds of times before the masses will actually hear it. That means you use the exact same language over and over. I want you to do a lot with this one-liner. I want you to memorize it and be able to repeat it over and over. That means you're going to write it and you're going to put it on an index card and you'll put it in your pocket and you'll carry it with you for months. And when you're at the grocery store, you're going to pull it out and you're going to read it. It's going to be really unnatural for you to break the habit of rambling when somebody asks what you do. But it's an important habit to break. So you want to memorize it, okay? And then you want to teach it to your entire team. When you teach the one-liner to your entire team, you convert everybody on your team into a sales force. Everybody. You sit next to somebody at a baseball game, they say, what do you do? Who do you work for? They're going to repeat the one-liner. So the way you do that is you go down to the bank and you get a jump.
All right. Sorry, I think we're good. What do y'all
Yeah.
think?
All right. So is that helpful in the chat? Is that helpful? All right. All right. So it's helpful to 3 people, 4 people. All right. There we go. All right. So it's helpful to a few more people. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this model, and I think Donald Miller does a great job of explaining this model and making it real for us. And the value of it comes really in just internalizing it. And one thing that I wrote for myself was just the importance of repeating it and memorizing it. And the last thing he was saying is that if you start repeating it and memorizing and then have your team do the same thing, you've just converted everyone into your sales team because they're now telling the story the way you want it told. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share this link one more time here. Hopefully you get it here in the chat. And I need you to open it up, because when you open it up, what it's going to take you over here. And I'm going to show you where it's going to take you in just a moment. It's going to take you to this. Actually, let me do it this way. It's going to take you right over here to this page. Does everyone see that? Unfortunately, I don't have everyone's. I can't see everyone's picture. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And what I did here was I created a shared document where we can all work on it together or individually. And I'm going to explain to you how this is going to work so you can follow along. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some time right now to go over this and then work on it. And here's that video that you just saw. There's a link right there that you can see if you want to come back and see it again.
All right, I just
And
put it
then,
back there.
and then this is the model, the one-liner model is you want to first identify their pain point. Step 2 is define your unique solution to their problem. And then third, you want to describe their storybook ending. With this, you want to be specific, like you talked about. Make sure it's a pain point. Get it down to a sound bite. You want this idea to feel like a new idea. It doesn't have to be a new idea, but it has to feel like something new. Make it understandable and brief. And then lastly, you want to go ahead, their storybook ending, make it the controlling idea of your business, make it something they want, and make it brief. So here are 3 examples to get you started as it relates to real estate. And what you're going to see here is a general value proposition, and then 2 that are lead source specific. So the first one is, most people find it painful. Most people find it painfully difficult to move in this market. I take the pain away by carefully guiding my clients past the minefields of home ownership so they can buy and sell. Where am I? I'm sorry. So they can buy and sell. Oh, what happened here?
Look like easily and stress-free.
Thank you. I made it. It's a little bit too big here. All right. Let me make that a little smaller. Easily and stress-free. The second example is for FSBO. And it's very similar to that first one. So the pain point for FSBO might be, they're afraid of being taken advantage of. They're afraid of making a mistake or losing money or spending money that they don't need to. So most people are fearful of making a costly mistake in this volatile market. My solution is the consultation, the customized plan for them, and having the market insight and knowledge and experience. So I thoroughly understand my clients' goals and take their fear away by guiding them past the minefields of home ownership or home sale, so that they can buy and sell with confidence in any market. So that might be an example that you could use for FSBO. The third example is for an expired. And this one is, again, their pain points, again, being taken advantage of and losing more money or not selling, and again, making a mistake and maybe hiring the wrong person. So most people are fearful when making the wrong decision when their property didn't sell. I thoroughly investigate why it didn't sell, develop a customized success plan, including the 6 things that I do that no one else does to get it sold, and offer an easy exit cancellation guarantee so you can sell right now with confidence and move forward with your plans today. So these are examples of using this model to help you create your own value proposition. And what I've done here is just created a space here where what I'd like to encourage is everyone to just kind of enter your name in here and just pick a cell and just start working on it. And everyone should have access to this where you can kind of come in here and start working on it. And we're going to take a moment so that you can work on it. Can people access it?
I can.
Okay, so just pick a cell, one of these cells, and just start typing in it and go through, and right up here is, again, the model, so you can see it. And just go ahead and scroll on the screen and go ahead and start typing in here. And we're going to take a moment to just come up with a value proposition. First, identify their pain point, then come up with, use some language to kind of define, what you deliver, why people should hire you. And as a result of hiring you, what they're going to get from it. What's their benefit from their perspective in using you?
Dan, what do we have to do to enter the spreadsheet?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What do we have to do to enter into the spreadsheet?
Yeah, it opens, Dan, but it's view only.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this then. All right, I'm going to have to change something over here, and I think I can do that real quickly.
All right, so just be thinking about it, and then when
be thinking about this. And what I'm going to do here is, let me see if I can share this. as a,
Talk about it too. So if you get stumped on something, and you want to talk about it, then let's talk about it.
okay, anyone that this link can share it. Okay, so let me copy that link. Done. And let's see if this link will allow you to all right, let's try this link. Let's see if this one works differently.
Yeah, it looks like it does.
Yeah, it looks like it. I see people coming in there now. Okay, good. All right, perfect. So just pick a different row, and you guys can all work on your own row, and we can talk through this as you're working through it. And while we do this, I'm going to put some music on in the background.
Alexa, come on, stop. Play Glow Rider.
Can you blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Can you blow my whistle, baby, there we go. I'm betting you like people, and I'm betting you love people, and I'm betting you like girls that give love to girls and stroke your little ego. I bet you're guilty, your heart. That's just how we live in my car. Who in the hell I'm breaking the road model? That's only one talk and one louder. I'm a damn shame for the one champagne, pull it down, damn straight, trying to pull it on ya. Let your lips feel like a round call. Slow it down, baby, take a little more. Whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Can't blow my whistle, baby, there we go. It's like everywhere I go, my whistle ready to blow. Shawty don't even know she can get it for the low. So she's not a pro, it's okay, it's under control. Show us the brand, no, cause girl, you can handle. Baby, we start so then you come up with our clothes. Girl, I'm loose, and I'm got in the same clothes. Show me your perfect bitch, you got in my banjo. Try to do it just like you blew out the candle. So I'm using, and you can music. Hope you ain't got no issues to do it. And no mission, never lose it. Blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. They blow my whistle, baby, there we go, girl, you can twerk it. Let me see your pussy while you work it. I'ma lay back, don't stop it. 'Cause I love it how you drop it, oh man. So let's black whistle go. Yeah, baby, make that whistle go. Oh, you blow my baby, baby. You know, girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it. Let's go. You just put your lips together and you blow my whistle, baby.
About 2 more minutes, guys, and then we'll come back and kind of see how far you got.
What was that, Melissa?
Got about 2 more minutes.
Perfect.
Hey Dan, I can't move to the next cell. I just put the first, filled out the first cell, and I don't know how to show.
If you hit tab, you should be able to move from cell to cell.
I don't even see the cells.
I'm able to tab, but then I can't see what I'm typing into that
Yeah.
next tab.
Yeah, I can't either.
It's changed.
You know what it might be is because others are typing and they might be moving the cells around a
I
little
think
bit.
they are.
Yeah.
So it looks like someone may have, like it looks like cell number E got moved or shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can adjust that real quickly.
And if you get to a place where you think you've put it a little bit together, type in the chat like what you think you have pulled together so that we can kind of see.
I don't have the U and V and W, all of this.
All right, let me.
There is nothing on my screen.
Melissa, how do we get the form?
It's in the chat box. If you go up, Dan shared it in the chat box. Do you see it?
Showed up late. Can you send it again? We were in the wrong Zoom.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
But let's let Dan fix it and then we'll have
Thank
him
you. You fixed it. I'm able to go to see it now. Thank you.
So Dan, can you copy that? And oh wait.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the cells or the columns got shifted over a little bit, so they're a little harder to. Yeah, let me fix this up right now.
Oh.
And you'll have access to this too, so just hold on to it and keep coming back to it as the week goes by. The goal for us would be that everyone comes back next week with some kind of draft.
Okay.
And just know that it's going to ebb and flow, and it might evolve over time as things change for you or whatever. But to have something that you can articulate. You're not going to lay awake at night and worry that you don't have one.
Did we break Google?
I think so.
All right.
We did it again. We should
All right, I think it's is it formatting a little bit better so everyone see all the columns?
I don't.
I see ABC and then G.
I see ABC only.
Oh, wait a minute. No. You have to slide. Now I see it. Did I just move it to for everybody, or did I move it for myself?
I don't know. It was easier a minute ago.
Right, on my end, it's formatted again properly. I think when you go out and come back in, it'll probably be formatted again correctly.
I can see it all.
I think the split screen is messing people up. That's why.
Yeah, now I see how you need to slide it.
So Chris in Milwaukee posted his. It says most people are fearful of trying to make a move in today's market. I take the fear out of selling their home by carefully guiding my clients through the process so they can sell their home stress-free in any market. Rock on. That's awesome, Chris.
So my goal here is that by having everyone work on it, you're going to get some ideas from others, and you'll have an opportunity to go back and refine this, fix this up, and continue to just make it better for you. And you can use it, over and over again, and maybe get some different ideas from different people.
It makes it so much easier. Thank you, Dan.
It says on my screen that the current window is too small to properly display this sheet. Consider resizing your browser window.
I believe if you were to log out or reopen it, it'll probably reformat properly. Melissa, you want to take a moment and we can just kind of go through some of these real quickly and then I can what we can do is we can clean it up and post it on the Facebook page so that people have access to it again and can work on it and again just kind of learn from one another.
All right. So does anybody want to say what this is? Thank you for typing them. So does anybody want to say? Do you want to say yours out loud?
Sure.
Louise, go.
I think I may have just spoken over someone. Would they like to go and I'll follow them?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So I wrote, this is for investors. And I wrote, most people rely on one source of income, earned income. I help people build wealth through real estate so they can improve their net worth effortlessly and with ease by earning passive income.
Awesome. That's fabulous. Dan, can you unshare your screen for right now?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So, Jeannie. Or is it Janine? Jeannie, I'm not sure.
It's Janine. It's Janine.
All right. Go.
Yes. So we always are concerned about the client's bottom line and how much money we can make them. And that's our focus. So this is a draft, but what I'm trying to say is that we will focus on their pain is spending money. And taking away the repairs and finding them all the contractors with one plan together we land. So that's the beginning of it. So they don't have to worry about anything. Just to guard their bottom line. That's our job.
Okay, awesome. Janet.
Thank you. Most people are afraid. Most people know they have a ton of equity in their current home and are afraid to take the plunge because where would they go? I have strategies to help them not only take advantage of the seller's market, but to find the perfect home where they can live their best life.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right. Anybody else want to share? All right. So
you have one, Melissa. What is yours?
Yeah. So, well, I have always had my value proposition has always been super short, but as we're doing this exercise, I'm thinking maybe I need to do a little more, but mine's always been, I'm your best friend in real estate. So, but I added to that. So we'll see, right? So mine is, you think you cannot buy a home in this market, or many think they cannot buy a home in this market. I will work with you to create a strategy that fits your needs that will get you into your new home. So I keep working on that. So yeah.
And I think, Melissa, that's really the goal, is that we're going to take some time to work on this. And could you relate this, kind of tie this back to the whole customer experience again, and why this is important and material?
Right. So the important piece of this is that we are not a fit for every single person. So knowing what it is that you do well will attract those people to you, right? And you'll know when maybe that person is not a good fit for you. But it will help you if you know the things that you're going to do, that you're offering stress-free, that you're offering strategies, that you're offering vendors, right? If you know what it is that you're going to be offering and what you want to offer, it will help you to build that experience wrapped around that. So that when they hear you say that when they get to the end, they're going to say, that's exactly what he or she did for me. So that's the reason that this is an important piece that we don't want to skip over.
So how does this now relate to the next session? So we've gotten this part done. You talked about the 5S process. And where does this fit into the 5S process? The 5S system.
Again, I mean, it's the beginning, right? So you have to know who you are. So what we're going to ask you to do, right? What we're all going to be doing, I'm going to be doing it. Dan, I think, is going to be doing it too, right? Is to come back next week with a value proposition that will help you start to build. And then next week, we won't spend as much time like on the front side of explaining, you know, what the cycle is and what it is that we hope to do, but we'll dive right in. We'll share some of the value propositions. You'll get the Facebook page, get in there and go ahead and start posting what you're finding, what you're creating, I should say, and allow us as a group to mastermind together. you know, some of these things are so awesome. And I'm sure that it would be great if we kind of tapped into what everyone else is doing and just create your own wrapped around it. Yes, it is recorded, Nicole, so we'll get the recording out. And then next week, we're going to start on the needs analysis for the seller. And then how do we, go ahead.
Yeah, and what you'll remember from the Red Book is that there are a number of key activities that our clients are looking for us, whether we're looking to buy or looking to sell, or people are looking to us to help with buying or selling. There's specific things that they're looking for us to provide to them. And that's what this is based from. So coming back to the material, and this is what we're going to be focusing on, is this customer experience life cycle, starting with the sellers, the needs analysis, the pricing strategy, the property preparation, the marketing strategy, receiving offers, negotiating and selling, negotiating to sell, selling, the pre-closing preparation, the closing preparation, and the post-closing process. And for each step, the model tells us to set, serve, survey, then look for ways to surpass their needs, and then figure out ways to sustain that for each step in the process. And this is what we're going to follow. And what we're going to do over the next few weeks is take this value proposition as a starting point. And do you see the value proposition? Probably not. Let me share my screen again real quickly, and we'll wrap up with this real quickly.
You're going to show your chart too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start with this, and then take what we did today, and we're going to create a timeline. And let me go ahead and just go ahead and hide this here so I can show this to you. For a seller and a buyer timeline, it's going to follow those same key activities, the needs analysis and so forth. And with that, what we're going to do is we're going to build it out. We know that according to Ronnie and NAR, that there's, again, 270 or 237 steps or 236 steps that realtors take. And we're going to figure out where in our process those steps go, so that we can create something like this for our client in the pre-closing preparation, for example, that these are some of the steps that we're going to have to take, and this is what the time frame looks like to get those things done for each step in the process. That way we have a system that we can create, and once we know the steps, we can insert new activities in here, new steps in here, where we can surprise and delight our clients on a systematic and consistent basis, following a standard that we've created. That then you can put into command or some other system for your database. So you can do this every time, whether it's you or your assistant. And then we're going to develop it so that it looks a little bit more like this, with all of these different steps for each of these sections. So next week, we're going to focus on this needs analysis section and develop that. Okay, guy? Does that sound like a good overview and helpful overview? Melissa, is there anything that I missed that we need?
No, I don't think so, right? But if you take the list of our activities and you build it into the needs analysis, right? How do you schedule your appointment? How do you get ready for that? Is there a paperwork? Where are you going to do your listing, your CMA, right? What's your criteria for what needs to be filled out and printed for you? So we're talking about like the minutia of the things that we do so that nothing gets missed. So that's what we're going to start doing next week.
And then with the mastermind
spreadsheet.
Yeah. And then with the mastermind, we're going to have again, the spreadsheet there as a guideline to start us off with the conversation. And then, I think we're going to have others, like people will have things that they do or think that they could do. And we'll find, we'll add that in there and have that spreadsheet again available for people to be able to work on and actually for you to have your own copy that you can then download for you to kind of, I guess, adjust for your own unique needs and for your own unique market. And so you can build a business consistent with who you are.
Right. So we're excited, think about the tools that you're using, that you're having great success with, things that we want to share. In the class that I taught, someone said, when I schedule a listing appointment, I send a video email to them introducing myself and just saying how much I'm looking forward to meeting them. You know, what a powerful small thing, and not really a difficult thing to do, but those are the types of things that I want you to be thinking about. So Janine.
First of all, thank you, Melissa. It was a great class. And
You're
then I have a question for Dan.
Sure.
Do you ever sleep? Because I cannot imagine when, I mean, do you do this and where do you have the time?
Yeah.
I'm always tired. I need to sleep at least 8 hours a day.
I'm right there with you, girl.
I sleep, and I have, I just have taken things that others have created, and I've just kind of repackaged it in a way that we can use it in our businesses to, like, my biggest successes, or like my biggest joy, comes in seeing everyone else's successes, and my success comes through it too. And yeah, I just want you guys to all be successful and have a great world, and this helps me to also become a better business person too by doing this.
Awesome. Louise.
Hey, Melissa, the video you mentioned, is it a generic video so that they can just, like, that's probably their system. They probably have the one video that they attach. They don't customize it and go, hi, Melissa, I'm looking forward to meeting you. It's probably like, hi, I'm Louise, and I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Yes. Yes. It's just it's done. And so she just pops it in and sends it. But what a great system. Right. You know, so that's the types of things that I'm hoping that we get out of this, right? To take those little pieces, and maybe not everybody wants to do a video, but if you do, right, how do we do it? And let's get it in place, and let's do the homework so we don't think it's a great idea and never do it. So that's the goal. I'm super excited that you're here. We've gone a little bit over our hour. Thank you all for being here. I'm so excited to be able to do this. I'm excited to do it for my business, and I'm excited to be able to have all of you to share, and so we can learn something from each other. So same time next week, Wednesday, same Zoom link. And you know, if you have anything, we'll send out the recording, we'll send out the Facebook, log into it, all the material. Bear with us because we're new at this. We'll get it all in. But it'll all be there. And if you need us, you know, you'll have our information as well. So feel free to reach out directly.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you. And
you.
I'll keep this open because I see a couple of people wanted to save the chat.
Many
And,
thanks
So much.
and
Thank
I'll
you.
put the
thank
link
you.
in there again.
Thank
for
you,
everyone.
Melissa. Thank you, Dan.
Can someone save the chat and put it in the Facebook file, like the Facebook group in the file section?
Yeah. Yeah, you're asking a lot for technology.
That's how we roll, Melissa.
Niecy knows how to do it. Niecy knows how to do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I just need the Facebook group link.
Which
Okay,
Facebook
all right,
group?
I'll get it all out. We'll get it all
Okay,
out.
thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Melissa, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yep.
Thank you.
This is exactly what I asked for, Dan, when that last survey James sent out. This is exactly what I asked for.
Well, great. Tell James that we're on it.
Awesome.
That's
Is
funny.
there another Facebook group associated for this?
There is, and we'll get that out to you in an email so you can just log in, and you'll have to request to be accepted to it because we're going to keep it private just for all of us that are in the group.
Okay, thank you.
And the secret to like getting this stuff done behind the scenes is everyone should have a Prim. And so I don't know if Prim is still on here right now, but she's the one that helped get some of these spreadsheets together and send out the emails. So yeah, thanks Prim for making this all happen.
So thanks, Prim, if you're still on there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Is Nicole Young still on? There you are.
Yep.
Nicole, what's your number?
404-902-94.
94 what?
9444. And thank you so much because I felt like yours really selected an avatar. You selected a group of people.
I did.